Hello everyone and welcome. This is Christine with Power Crafts, and today we're going to be making a Halloween card using the Best Witches stamp set. This is from the Colorado Craft Company. This is part of their Lovely Legs line. I think the sentiments in this stamp set are hilarious. I love them, and I was so excited I picked this up to be able to use this year for Halloween. So we are going to start off with just some white cardstock. This is just some cardstock that I purchased at a office supply store. My first intention was for card bases, but it says it's 100 pound, but it doesn't feel 100 pound to me. So I just basically am using it right now for this sort of stuff. Also, mats on the insides of my cards and things like that. I had 2 reams of it. I'm down to 1, but when it's done, I probably won't be buying this again. But moving on. Not that anyone probably cares about that. But anyway, we are going to stamp out the little portion of the witch's body with the sentiment, "Witch, please." I think that's hilarious. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that out. We're using the MFT Extreme Black ink. This is a Copic friendly ink because I will be Copic coloring. I will also be using some Distress ink on today's card, and this ink is perfect for both of those things. So I've gone ahead, stamped that all out. I gave it a minute or 2 to dry. Now we're going to go ahead and Copic color. I think that I did remember to show the marker so you would know what colors I'm using, or put the caps up depending if I was using the Chow markers or the Copic sketch. I do have both. I tend to buy the sketch markers if I can buy them in packs and use a coupon code at the local big box craft stores, or the Chow markers I do buy from a online store, and they have a really great price on the Chow markers, especially if you can find them on sale. So yeah, those are the 2 kinds of Copic markers I see, and I do try to show you the colors this time around. So I've gone ahead, and as usual, I color in the skin. I do that first because I tend to if I leave the skin for last, I always seem to bring in the other colors around it. So if I were using orange, I'd end up getting orange on her arm. So for me, it's just easier to do the skin tones first. Then I decided we're going to go ahead and color in her little dress. I am using orange. I tend to gravitate towards purple for witches. I don't know, I think that's just like one of my favorite fall colors, but this time I'm going with orange. Orange is my husband's favorite color, and when I was kind of debating what color, he's, all about orange. So she's going to have an orange dress. Going ahead, I'm using the YR07 for my darkest, YR04 for my medium color, and the Y38 for the lightest. So I kind of went dark, medium, light, and then I brought the dark color back in just to kind of make those shadow areas a little darker. So her outfit is going to be orange and black. I'm not going to be using black, but we are going to be using the dark, or the C colors, and we'll be using the darker colors, and it'll kind of give it the illusion that it's black, even though we're not using the black Copic marker, we're using the grays, which if you're looking for a nice subtle like shade of black, use the grays, other than just using straight on the 100 Copic marker. But of course, if you use colored pencils or other means of coloring, do whatever makes you happy. This is just what I prefer to use. So we're going ahead using the C7, the C5, and the C3. I'll go ahead. I started with the darkest, went to the lightest, and then bringing in that C7 again to darken some of those areas that I want to have some shadows. Brought back that YR07 for her little belt buckle and the buckle and straps on her shoes. Her stockings here are going to be striped, and I'll be going back and forth with the orange and the C markers. Again, just laying down where I think there's going to be some shadows, maybe from the stockings, gathering in certain areas. So I'm using the darkest, the middle, and the lightest, and then I'll bring the dark color in just to highlight just a little bit more, or not really highlight, but to deepen those little shadow parts a little bit more. So once we are all done coloring, I am going to take this over to my die cutting machine, and we are going to use a rectangle stitched die. I'm going to be using the size that is as small as I can get it and still keep the whole image and the sentiment together. So I'm not exactly sure what size this is in particular. Well, I got a ruler right here. Let's take a look. It looks like this piece is going to be about 4.5 inches wide and about just over 3.25 inches tall. So I've gone ahead and trimmed that out, and now we're going to use some distress ink on this piece. I'm bringing in the Wild Honey first, and we're going to cover all of the white area with the Wild Honey. Now, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go over my coloring, but I didn't really like the white space around her, so I am going to eventually go back in with that Wild Honey and just go over those little areas where I left the white around her. So now this is the spiced marmalade. We're bringing that in to just make a darker orange color around the outer parts of the panel. And then I'm going to blend that all together again with the Wild Honey brush. I'm not really picking up any extra ink because I have a ton of it on the mat there. But we'll go ahead and cover those up. Then we're bringing in the black soot just around the edges here. I don't really want to get it too much into my coloring, so I'm trying to be a little light-handed around the witch herself. And then we'll just kind of go back and forth a little bit with each of the colors and just kind of blend it all out until I'm happy with the outcome. So once she is done, I'm reaching for some pattern paper only to realize I don't really have any fall or Halloween paper. So I have this piece of orange plaid paper here. It was a little too bright, so what I did is I took some vintage photo distress ink and I went all around the edge to kind of muddy the color a little bit so it'd be a little darker and match my paper a little bit better. So we've gone ahead, done that. I've matted this panel on some brown cardstock, and my card base is also a 100-pound brown cardstock. I'm not sure of the name. If I can find the name of it, I will put it in the description below. So to finish off the front of this card, I am using some Nuvo crystal drops. These are in the color Ripened Pumpkin. If I had to do the Nuvo drops again, I think I wouldn't have added so many, or at least in all of these random places, but it's already done, and it is what it is. I usually don't let myself get too wild with the Nuvo drops, because when I look at it later, if I think I've got too many, you really can't take them off, but you can always add 2. Well, this is one of those times I just was so happy using the orange drops that I didn't follow my rules. Anyway, now we're going to add the blingy part. So I'm bringing in my Spectrum Noir glitter brush. We're going to add some glitter just to the orange part of her dress. So just the little top there and her skirt. And then for the, I'm just going to go with it and just say it's tulle underneath the orange. On that black tulle there, we're going to bring in some Stickles just to add a different kind of sparkle. I'm really been enjoying adding the diamond Stickles with the the Spectrum Noir glitter brush. Just adds the same kind of effect, but just different. I love it. But anyway, thank you so very much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you want to know when I upload next, don't forget to hit the notification bell. But until next time, everyone, have a great day. Bye.